everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this Aspen Baby Blanket. This has the 3D leaf design all over it, and it is so fabulous. I'll get into the supplies and then I'll talk about the frequently asked questions, and I apologize if you can hear my son in the background. But we're home alone, and he's awake. So I just wanted to get this video filmed and this intro done, and we'll make it work. So big huge thank you to Lion Brand Yarn for providing the yarn for this project today. I am using Basic Stitch Anti-Pilling yarn, and I'm using this minty green color is called Frost, and then this off-white border color here is called Ecru. And this Basic Stitch yarn is a medium sized worsted weight yarn, size 4 here. You can use any type of worsted weight type of yarn. I have some like regular Basic Stitch yarn, not anti-pilling, like premium yarn. I also have Brava yarn has some good yarns. Paint Box yarns has really good yarns. Red Heart yarns, like Super Saver, or Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand. I'm just looking over at my stash right now and seeing what yarns I have available that would be great substitutions. So you can use any type of worsted weight yarn that looks similar to this type of yarn, like this. Okay, so now, next supply is the hook. We are going to use an H-size crochet hook today. This crochet hook is from the Etsy shop, Would Be Fancy, if it focuses, there we go. And this is a hand-carved, ergonomic, wooden-handled crochet hook. You can get on the Etsy shop, Would Be Fancy. We're using an H size, which is 5mm today in this tutorial, in this project. I wouldn't recommend anything smaller or bigger than that. Maybe a 5.5mm would be if you wanted to go that bigger size, but this can be found on Etsy at the Etsy shop, Would Be Fancy. Thank you for that. Also, we are going to need a scissors and a yarn needle to cut our yarn and sew in our ends. So those are all the supplies you're going to need today. This blanket measures, it's a square on mine. You can make it as long as you want. It's a repeat from row 3 to 22. You just repeat rows 3 to 22 as much as you want. And hey, Nasser, sorry, he's getting into things. My yarn specifically. So anyway, this is a size 35 inches across and 35 inches long, but you can make it however big you want it, however long you want it for yours. In this tutorial, I'm only going to show how to make a little swatch of this, so you can make this in the bigger size, but for tutorial purposes I just made it in 50 stitches across. But this blanket is 203 stitches across, so you can make it that size. Unfortunately, I don't have stitch counts for bigger sizes, but if you count your stitches from where one leaf starts to where the next leaves start or ends, then you can probably see the stitch count if you wanted to calculate it yourself. So that is all that I have for you today. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I'll try to get back to you, or you can email me or find me on social media somewhere. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and now I'm on TikTok. YARNutopia on TikTok, so make sure you follow me there. Hi, Nasser is here, and I have to go, so let's get started and make the Aspen Baby Blanket. One more thing, I wanted to say a big huge thank you to Lion Brand Yarn for sponsoring this crochet tutorial with the yarn that they sent me, as well as thanking my dad, who is behind my shoulder the entire tutorial. He's not filming, I'm only filming this intro myself, but he filmed the entire tutorial, and I'll tell you, I tried so many times filming this myself, and it was just a miserable fail. So I'm really grateful for my dad to film for me and be there over my shoulder, zooming in on all these wonderful stitches for you. So big thank you to him, and thank you for watching and always being patient with me. and getting these tutorials out. I really appreciate it, and we have so much fun, and I really love the community here at YARNutopia. So thanks to you for watching. Okay, let's get started and make this fabulous blanket. To start off, we are going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, fold this down, and then pull your long end through and pull tight, and then insert your hook, and we can begin. So let's start off by chaining 205. If you want to start with the foundation double crochet like I'm going to do, you can do 203 foundation double crochets. For row 1, we need 203 stitches, okay? So if you're going to chain and then double crochet across your chain, chain 205 and then double crochet in the third chain from the hook and across, and that will get you 203 stitches. But what we're going to do today in this tutorial is foundation double crochet. That just eliminates the first foundation chain step. You're basically chaining and stitching at the same time to skip a step. So to start off, we're going to chain 3. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to work into this third chain from the hook here. So 1, 2, 3, this third chain right here. We're going to yarn over, go into that chain, then yarn over and pull through. So we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and just pull through 1 loop. Okay, that creates the foundation chain. And now just finish this off like you would a regular double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then if you turn it this way, you'll see there is our foundation double crochet stitch. So now you see this baseline right here, and if you flip this up, you can see there it looks like a foundation chain, loop there and loop here. We are going to work in there to make our next foundation double crochet. So I like to turn my work this way, yarn over, go to the base of that stitch, that previous stitch we just made, right in those 2 loops, just like that. Then yarn over, pull through. Okay, you can kind of pull up a little. This is creating that foundation chain, so just yarn over and pull through 1 loop. Okay, and there's their next chain. So now we're just going to finish this off like a regular double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's our next one. Now this beginning here, this chain stitch right here, does count as a stitch in my pattern. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. In this particular pattern it will. So this is counted as 1, here's 2, here's 3. Okay, so we're just going to continue doing that until we have 203 stitches. So yarn over, go down into this part right here, underneath both of these loops. Okay, yarn over, pull through, pull up, yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And there's our 4th stitch. I do have a foundation double crochet tutorial if you need more closer attention to figuring that one out. Otherwise, just do 203 of these and I'll be back when I have all my stitches. Alright, so you should have your work look something like this. So once you have 203 of these stitches, we can go on to row 2. Row 2 says to chain 1 and turn your work. That's for every row from here on out. Turn your work around. Okay, and in the very first stitch, we are going to make something called a stacked single crochet. You can do a half double crochet into this stitch if you'd like for the rest of this pattern. This is the very first stitch in every single row. We are going to do a stacked single crochet. But if you want to change that, if it's too difficult for you, you can do a half double crochet into the first stitch for every row. But for a stacked single crochet, exciting, you're going to learn something new here if you haven't heard of this stitch before. You go into this first stitch right here, go in with your hook, yarn over and pull through. So we have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops. Super simple single crochet. Now you see this vertical line right here. We are going to go in from the side like this, okay, through there, just like that. Then yarn over, hook on your yarn there, and pull it through that. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and that completes our stacked single crochet. That, I just really like this first stitch like this, just because there won't be any gaps or chain holes or anything in your work. And I actually learned this stitch from my friend Nikki at Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and she just like stacked the single crochet stitches and there's no gaps, and I love it. It looks so fabulous. So we're going to do that for every single row from here on out. Now in the next 2 stitches here, we are going to front post double crochet. So this next stitch right here, a front post double crochet, we yarn over, go on this side of the post, around it, just like that. Okay, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is a front post double crochet. We're going to do a lot of those in this pattern. So the next stitch here has to do a front post double crochet as well. So yarn over, go on this side of the post, around it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, just like that. So these are raised up. Now in the next stitches, it says back post double crochet on the next 10 stitches. So back post double crochet, we're going to yarn over, go on the back of our work, around this next post here, just like this, and then to the back again. Okay, yarn over and pull it through. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1. So we have to do that in the next 10 here. So there's 1, yarn over, go from the back around the post, just like this, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's our second one. Okay, here's 3, 4, I'm going to go a little bit faster here, 5, 6. If you are new to front post and back post double crochet, I do have a video tutorial on just that stitch, just learning that those 2 specific stitches. I can link those in this video in the description, and I'll post it on my blog as well, just to make sure you can learn that stitch. It's fun. Let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 more, 10. Alright, now it says we have to move back to front post double crochets. So it says front post double crochet in the next 7 stitches. So this next stitch right here is free, so go into the front of your work, around that post, back to the front now, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. See how the difference looks in the front and back post stitches? This is going to look so fabulous. So we have to count 7 of those front post double crochets now. 2, 3, whoops, lost my loops for a second there. 1, 2, 3, there we go. 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now what we have to do for the rest of this row is repeat from this point of this back post double crochet to this front post double crochet. So 10 back post double crochets in a row, and then 7 front post double crochets in a row. Then 10 back post, 7 front post. Do that until you have 3 stitches left. We're going to finish this row opposite of what we did here. So when there's 3 stitches left on your row, I'll come back and show you how to finish this row 2, and then we'll go on to row 3 together. Alright, so you should end your row with the 10 back post double crochets, and then you should have 3 stitches left. On those 3 stitches, we're going to finish them like we did the beginning. So these 2 stitches are going to be front post stitches. Okay, so yarn over, go in the front of this one, make a front post double crochet, and on this one here. Now the last one's not going to be a front post double crochet because it's very difficult to do a front post stitch on the very last stitch of a row. So what we're going to actually do is put a half double crochet in there. So we're going to yarn over, go into that chain up stitch right there. Okay, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That way that stitch is in there and there's no gapping or any type of weird stitching. So that was row 2. So going on to row 3 now, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work around and do that stacked single crochet stitch. Okay, so go into the top here. You can, like I said earlier, do a half double crochet if you're not comfortable with stacked single crochets. But yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go into that vertical stitch, that vertical line right there, go in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's our stitch. Now on row 3, when you flip your stitches around here, these stitches from the previous row were front post double crochets, but now that we're looking at this side of our work, these look like back post stitches. So on these first 2 stitches here, we are going to put back post double crochets. So every row is kind of like opposite, right? So now they look like back post stitches, so now we're going to put back post stitches on them. So these first 2 stitches get a back post double crochet. So yarn over, go to the back of your work now, around that post, just like that, and make your back post double crochet. So 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to start making the leaf pattern, and we are going to decrease on either side of what is going to be our leaf. Okay, so these front post stitches here, we're going to double crochet these 2 together, but doing it as a front post stitch. So I'll show you how to do that. In my pattern, it's actually front post double crochet 2 together. That's FPDC 2 TOG. So yarn over, go on this side of the post, around it, just like that. So in the front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Hold these 2 loops on your hook and yarn over again. Go on this next one here, around it, just like this. Okay, so front post, yarn over, pull through. So now we have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops. And that creates 1 stitch. So we basically just put these 2 into 1 stitch. Cool. Now we're just going to do a regular front post double crochet on the next 6 stitches. Just a regular front post double crochet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you should have 2 front post double crochets left in this sequence right here. So we're going to double crochet those 2 together, doing a front post. So front post double crochet 2 together. Yarn over. It's just a mouthful. I swear. Okay, so yarn over, go on this side of it, around it. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Hold these 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go into the side of this post now. Okay, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. And then we have the 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And there we have decreased that stitch as well. So now you can see that this is going to come in like this, okay? Now on these next 7 back post double crochets, we're just going to back post double crochet on those. They're just the spaces between the leaves, basically. So remember, a back post, yarn over, go to the back of your work around the next post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, just like that. And now we're just going to repeat this sequence from this decrease to this back post double crochet. So front post double crochet 2 together, then double crochet, front post double crochet in the next 6 stitches, then front post double crochet 2 together, and then back post double crochet on the next 7 stitches. So this is a front post double crochet 2 together, then a front post in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there should be 2 front post double crochets left. We're going to double crochet those 2 together doing the front post technique, just like that, and then back post double crochet on those 7, and then just repeat. So do that all the way across, and then I'll come back when I have 3 stitches left. Alright, you should end with a front post double crochet 2 together stitch there, and then you should have 3 stitches left, okay? And on these 2 stitches we're going to do a back post double crochet, just like how we started this row. There were 2 of those back post double crochets, and then in the last stitch we're just going to put a half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the very last stitch. This is our stacked single crochet stitch. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. There's our half double crochet stitch. Okay, and there is row 3. Going on to row 4. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, make that stacked single crochet stitch. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, go into the vertical line, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, on the first 2 stitches here we are going to put front post double crochets on each of those. So yarn over, go on this side of the post, front post double crochet there, and front post double crochet there. Now the next stitch we're still decreasing, so we are going to back post now, because these are back post stitches looking at it this way. So back post double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, go from the back of your work around the whole decreased stitch. I know it looks big, but this whole decreased stitch, go around the whole thing. Then yarn over and pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2, hold it, yarn over, go on to the next stitch, the regular stitch here now, in the back of your work around it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that is a back post double crochet 2 together stitch. Now we're just going to back post double crochet, a regular back post double crochet on the next 4 stitches. So this next one here, back post, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you should have 2 back post double crochets left. We're going to decrease those ones. So yarn over, go in the back of your work around this next one here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next one around it. This is the decrease one, so it's kind of a bigger stitch, so make sure you get the whole thing. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops on your hook, and there you've decreased that. So you can start to see it's going inward, but this is the back of your work. It'll show up on this side. Now on these next 7 stitches, you know what to do. Just front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches. Whoops, lost my loops again. There we go. Oh my goodness, sorry. I haven't filmed in a while. You can tell I'm a little rusty. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Awesome. So now you know how to do the repeat. So we're repeating from this decrease stitch, back post double crochet, 2 together stitch right here, to this front post double crochet stitch here. So this is the repeat from here to here. So back post double crochet, 2 together, and then back post double crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back post double crochet these 2 together, and then front post double crochet on these 7, and then just repeat. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and show you how to finish this row, and then we'll go on to row 5 next. Alright, once you have the 3 stitches left, just front post double crochet on these 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then just half double crochet in the last stitch. So in the top there, just go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then chain 1, turn your work, and make the stacked single crochet in the first stitch. And then on these next 2 stitches, now they look like back post double crochets, so put a back post double crochet on each of those first 2. And now these look like front post stitches, but you can see the decrease is going inward. And this one will make it even more because we're going to decrease these 2 stitches and these 2 stitches, leaving only 2 stitches in the middle. So yarn over, we're going to front post double crochet 2 together. So this whole decrease stitch right here, go around it from the front, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go around the next post right here, and decrease that one, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So we've just decreased those 2. Now we're going to just regular, let's see here, regular on these 2 stitches, regular front post double crochet, 1 and 2, and then these next 2 stitches, it looks like 3 because this is a decreased stitch. So this stitch and this stitch are 1 and 2. We're going to decrease those 2 together. So yarn over, go on this side of it, this post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go around this decreased stitch right here, and make your front post double crochet 2 together stitch. And you see how much that went in this time? It's really slanting. Sweet. Okay, the next row will be just the tippy top of our leaf. Okay, so the next 7 stitches, you know what to do. Back post double crochet on those ones, and then just repeat what we did for this leaf part. So decrease, then a regular front post on the next 2, and then decrease, and then back post on the next 7. And also, if you need to refer to the written pattern that's on YARNutopia.com, you can do that. But I'm just going to finish this row then. It's getting easier as we do this back post stitching and the decreases. You can kind of see exactly where your leaves are, and with the decreases, it makes the row go so much quicker. So, going on this side. Now we're decreasing because we're on the next leaf, and these are front post stitches. So we're just going to decrease. Okay, then front post on the next 2. Okay, then decrease. So front post double crochet 2 together. Okay, and then back post on these next 7, decrease, etc. So just repeat that all the way across, and then I'll come back and show you how to do row 6 next. Alright, going on to finishing row 5. I'm doing a back post double crochet on these two, and then we're going to half double crochet into the very last stitch. Right here. Oh, come on, hook. There we go. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. There we go. So that was row 5. Okay, going on to row 6 now. It says, let's stack a single crochet. So chain 1, turn your work. Stacked single crochet in the first stitch. Go on the vertical stitch here. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. And then front post double crochet on these next 2 stitches. 1 and 1. Alright, now for our decrease, let's see here, it says back post double crochet 2 together twice. So yarn over, go on this side of the back post on this decrease stitch here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go on the next post right here. Okay, don't be afraid to stretch your work around so you can see where your stitches are. So there's a back post double crochet 2 together, and then these 2 as well. So yarn over, go on this side, going around this post from the back, yarn over, go around this decrease stitch right there. Okay, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we just did back post double crochet 2 together twice. 1, 2. Okay, then it says to front post double crochet only in the next 3 stitches here. So basically what we're going to do now is start to create the next leaf in the middle stitch of these 7 front post double crochets. So just front post double crochet on these 3 stitches until you get to the middle stitch, and that's where we're going to start our next leaf. So they're going to be tapered. Okay, so this next stitch right here, the middle double crochet of the 7 double crochet grouping here, this middle one is going to get a back post double crochet. So it's going to be kind of difficult because you're back posting on a front post stitch, but you can do it. I believe in you. There we go. Back post double crochet. Okay, so that is going to be the start of the next leaf that's going to come around here. Okay, so we're finishing off these leaves. This is the back of our work, so you can see the front of the leaf. So that one's finishing, so we got to make another one then between the leaves. You get it. Okay, so then front post double crochet on these next 3 stitches here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so then we're just going to repeat the sequence. So back post double crochet 2 together twice. Okay, then front post double crochet on 3, back post double crochet on 1, then front post double crochet on 3, and then repeat. So I'm going to do that for row 6. And you'll see that it goes by quicker once you have less stitches to work with, which is great. So I'll do that, and then once I finish row 6, I'll come back and show you how to do row 7. Alright, just finishing this row, we have to front post double crochet on these next 2 stitches, and then half double crochet in the last stitch, just like the rows previous. Okay, then chain 1, turn your work around, and you can see the leaf design is really taking off there, looking really good. Okay, for those of you who see this is just a swatch for the video, but I have my big blanket here, so don't worry. 203 stitches is this big, but for the video purpose, I'm just doing a little swatch, but it's the same exact pattern, just I'm doing a smaller stitch count, just on my own, but don't worry, it's the same stitch count as the 203 stitches in the beginning. Anyways, going on to row 7 now, we're going to stack a single crochet in the first stitch. We know how to do that already. And then back post double crochet on the next 2 stitches, and then we are going to front post double crochet 2 together just on these 2 stitches here. So this decreased stitch, front post double crochet 2 together on this stitch as well, and that is the tippy top of our leaf. Now we're going to back post double crochet on the next 3 stitches, and then front post double crochet on the next stitch where this front post double crochet stitch is. We're just going to front post double crochet on that, then back post double crochet on the next 3 stitches, and then just repeat that whole sequence all the way across. So I'll show you again. Okay, so we got a front post double crochet 2 together, okay, and then back post double crochet on 3, front post double crochet on 1, back post double crochet on 3, and then decrease again. So do that all the way across, and then I'll show you how to do row 8 next. Alright, we're going to back post double crochet on these 2 stitches, and then half double crochet in the last stitch, just like how we started this row. We're just going to finish it just even. And I know you're going to say like, oh, my work is going inward because I'm decreasing. Don't worry, it'll all straighten out in the end when you block it and stretch this out like this. It'll be straight edges, okay? So it's looking good so far. So now row 8 is much different than these rows because now we are going to start doing regular stitches and then starting the leaf now. Increase, okay? So chain 1, turn the work around, stack your single crochet in the beginning here, the first stitch, stacked single crochet, and now we are going to front post double crochet on these 6 stitches. I should say 7, but this first stitch counts as part of this grouping basically, so essentially it is 7 stitches with this stitch counting as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're going to go back to getting it from the 7, 10 grouping. So we're going to do 7 stitches, increase this one to 2 stitches, then 7 stitches here, 2 stitches, etc. So I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to do front post double crochet on the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, this stitch right here is looking like a back post double crochet 2 together stitch. We're going to yarn over, go around it from the front, and make it our front post double crochet stitch. If I can hook my yarn, there we go. Just like that, okay? And I like that because on this side you can see it really popping at this point there. I really like that design. So then these next 3 stitches here, just front post double crochet. Then once you get to that back post double crochet stitch that we created right here, we are going to increase, okay? So we still have to do back post double crochet stitches on there, but we're going to do 2. So yarn over, go behind this work right here around this post, okay? Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we are going to chain 1, okay? And we are going to back post double crochet again on that same post. So yarn over, go to the back of your work around this post right here, okay, kind of like underneath the one we just made, okay? Yarn over, pull through, okay, just like that. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there, it looks like a V stitch, basically a back post V stitch. Cool. So that's a front post, or I'm sorry, a back post double crochet, chain 1, back post double crochet, all on that back post stitch. So now we've increased. Okay, now we're just going to front post double crochet in the next 7 stitches, then make that back post V-stitch on this back post stitch right here. So these back post stitches here are going to have the V-stitches. Okay, so front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches here. 1, 2, I'm going to go a little faster here. If you need to slow down, just pause the video, catch up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Fabulous. Now we're at the next part where we need to put the back post V stitch on this stitch here. So yarn over, go to the back of your work around that post. Perfect. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1. Back post double crochet again on that same post. And there's your back post double crochet, chain 1, back post double crochet on that same stitch. Cool. Now just do back post double, or I'm sorry, front post double crochet on 7, then make your back post V stitch, etc. And looks like my swatch is coming to the end there, but if you need to catch up, get to the end of your row, and then I'll show you the next row. Okay, so for finishing row 8, you want to front post double crochet in the last 6, and then the very last stitch gets a half double crochet. Okay, then chain 1, turn your work, going on to row 9 now. Well, look at that, how freaking fabulous. I love it so far. Okay, so now we're going to stack our single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to make back post double crochet in these next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Gotta get more yarn here, sorry. Okay, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and now we're at our next leaf here. This is going to be our next leaf. So we're going to front post double crochet on this stitch here. Okay, so front post double crochet on there. And now we're going to actually put a regular V-stitch in the chain 1 space. So a V-stitch is a regular double crochet, so yarn over, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Just regular double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet back into that chain 1 space. Okay, we can't forget this double crochet right here. This front post double crochet stitch gets a front post double crochet. So now what we've done is turned these 2 stitches into 4, as you can see there. And that is the start of our next leaf. Yay! Now back post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then make your increase for the next leaf doing a front post double crochet on the front post double crochet, then a V-stitch in the chain 1 space, and then a front post double crochet on that next stitch there, like right here. So there's 7 back post double crochets there. So now this is our next leaf. So we're going to do exactly what we did here for here. So front post double crochet, then in the chain 1 space make a regular double crochet, chain 1, and a regular double crochet, and then front post double crochet on this next front post double crochet stitch. Okay, and then just back post double crochet into the next 7 stitches and repeat. So do that all the way across, and then once I finish row 9, I'll come back and show you row 10. Alright, finishing row 9, we're back post double crocheting in those 6 stitches and then half double crochet in the very last stitch. Okay, then chain 1, turn your work around, stacked single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to front post double crochet in these 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, then we're going to, on this part now, this is the leaf part, we're going to increase to 6 stitches instead of 4. So we're going to back post double crochet on this next back post stitch, looking right there, back post double crochet on there, and back post double crochet on this stitch right here. And then in the chain 1 space, we're going to put our V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Then back post double crochet on the next 2 stitches. So this one you go into the chain 1 space around the post to the back again, make your back post double crochet on that stitch, and then back post double crochet on this next stitch. Sweet. Now front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then we're going to increase our next leaf exactly how we just did that other one, using back post stitches. Okay, because this is the back of our work. Okay, so 7 of those front post stitches in a row. So now we're going to increase this leaf exactly how we did this leaf. So back post double crochet on these first 2 stitches of this leaf. Whoops. Oh my goodness. There we go. And then in this chain 1 space, make a V-stitch. So it's a double crochet, chain 1, and then a double crochet. And then back post double crochet on these next 2 stitches. Perfect. Okay, then front post double crochet on the next 7, and then on the next leaf, just make that same increase, then front post double crochet on the next 7. And just do that all the way across, and when I finish this row, I'll come back. Alright, half double crochet in that last stitch, so we're going to finish with a front post double crochet on those 6 stitches, and then half double crochet in the last stitch, chain 1, turn your work around. We can go on to row 11 now. Look at how nice that looks. So we're going to increase these now from 6 stitches to 8 stitches this row. So we're going to stack our single crochet in the first stitch. Then we're going to back post double crochet in the next 6 stitches. Okay, then increase our leaf. Okay, so there's back post double crochets on those 6 stitches. So now on this leaf here, we're going to do front post stitches on this leaf. So front post double crochet on these 3 stitches. Whoopsie. Let's try that again. Front post double crochet on these 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then in the chain 1 space, we're going to put our V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the chain 1 space. Okay, then front post double crochet on the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. So now we should have 8 stitches on this leaf. Cool, it's really coming together. Okay, now back post double crochet on the next 7 stitches. and then increase your next leaf exactly how I showed you, then back post on the next 7, and then increase your next leaf, and just do that all the way across. And then when I finish row 11, I'll show you row 12 next. Alright, you want to back post double crochet on those 6 stitches at the end of this row, and then half double crochet in the last stitch. And then going on to, what is this, row 12, we're going to chain 1, turn our work around. Row 12 says, so row 12, this is the back of our work, okay, and then this is the front. But anyway, row 12 says to stack single crochet in the first stitch, and then front post double crochet on the next 6 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to do back post double crochets, and we're going to increase this to 10 stitches. But it's a little different. It's not going to be a V-stitch, it's just going to be 2 double crochets in there. So we are going to back post double crochet on these 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and since we only want 10 stitches, no more, we're not going to increase anymore, we're just going to put 2 double crochets, no chain 1, in that chain 1 space. So 2 double crochets only. 1 and 2. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to back post double crochet on those next 4 stitches. So then on this leaf, we have 10 stitches on this leaf now, and that's where we're done increasing. So the next row is going to start decreasing the leaf, similar to what we did down here in decreasing the leaf. Okay, so we're halfway through our leaf. So then front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then increase the next leaf exactly how I showed you, that previous leaf. And then front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and do that all the way across, and I'll meet you up for row 13. Alright, so row 12 here ends with front post double crochet in those 6 stitches, and then half double crochet in the last, chain 1, turn your work around. This is the front of our work so far, looks really good. Okay, stretch that out a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to start decreasing the leaves, okay? So we are going to, very similarly what we did here for here, just the way we start and end our row is going to be a little different. So stacked single crochet always, start the row. Okay, then for this row it says back post double crochet in those 6 stitches. And this is row 13, by the way, if you're following along with the written instructions. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, back post double crochets on those 6. Now we're going to decrease. So how we did, what was it, row 3 here, right? Yep, row 3, we're going to just do the decrease on these 2 stitches here. So front post double crochet 2 together. So we're going to decrease this down to 8 stitches now. So there's 10 stitches on this leaf, so we're decreasing them down to 8. So this decrease stitch right here, then a regular front post double crochet on these 6 stitches until there are 2 stitches left. On the leaf. I was like 2 stitches left on the leaf, sorry. There we go. Concentrating and talking at the same time. So there's these 2 stitches left. Here we're going to double crochet those 2 together, doing the front post technique. Okay, just like that. And that's for every leaf on this row now. So the next 7 stitches, get a back post double crochet. Then we're going to decrease this leaf exactly how we did this leaf and just repeat that all the way across your row. And every leaf should have 8 stitches. Then once I finish this row, I'll come back and show you the next. Alright, so we ended this row with 6 back post double crochets and then a half double crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work around and stack your single crochet right away. Going on to row 14 now. It's very similar to row 4, except the start and end are different because there's now these 6 stitches in the beginning. So 6 front post double crochets for this row, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we're going to decrease down to 6 stitches on this leaf. So back post double crochet 2 together. Okay. Back post double crochet those 2 stitches together, and then front post double crochet only on these next 4 stitches. So back post double crochet, regular back post stitch, regular back post stitch, regular back post stitch, and regular back post stitch. And then you should have 2 stitches left on this leaf. Okay, it looks like 3, but this is a decreased one. So 1 and 2, we're going to decrease those 2 together. So back post double crochet 2 together, and that creates the decrease of, now we have 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches across on our leaf. Okay, then front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then decrease your next leaf exactly how I showed you. And then front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then decrease your next leaf. And do that all the way across, and when I finish this row, we'll go on to row 15 next. Alright, you'll end this row with front post double crochet on those last 6 stitches, and then the very last stitch will have a half double crochet. Chain 1, turn your work. Going on to row 15 now, we are going to stack our single crochet. I'm going a little faster because now it's kind of just like the repeat of our pattern, so you kind of get it now. So back post double crochet on those 6 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to decrease our leaf to 4 stitches here. So front post double crochet 2 together. So on this decreased stitch, and then this next stitch right here, put those 2 into 1 stitch. Okay, then just regular front post double crochet on the next 2 stitches, and then front post double crochet 2 together on these last 2 stitches of this leaf. Okay, so now you should have 4 stitches on the leaf. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then back post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then decrease your next leaf exactly how I just showed you that one. And then back post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and repeat it all the way across. Super simple. Once I finish this row, I'll show you row 16 next. Finishing row 15, you have to finish with back post double crochet in those last 6 stitches, half double crochet in the very last stitch, chain 1, turn your work. And for row 16, let's start with a stacked single crochet. And now row 16 starts where we when you're at the rows where you are making a decrease down to 2 stitches, you have to start your next leaf, okay? So this is row 16. We are going to front post double crochet in these 2 stitches here. So just 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, and now this next stitch right here, this is going to be considered that middle stitch of the 7. We're going to start our leaf down like this one's stacked. So we're going to start our leaf here. So we're going to back post double crochet on that stitch. Okay, just like we started these leaves down here, we're going to start a new leaf here. Okay, and then front post double crochet on those next 3 stitches. Okay, and now we're going to decrease this leaf down to 2 stitches. So back post double crochet 2 together. So this back post double crochet 2 together stitch right here. There's 1 stitch, and then decrease these 2 down to 1 as well. So decrease there. Okay, so now we only have 2 stitches on this leaf, and now we're going to create our next leaf in the middle of these 7 stitches. So front post double crochet on these 3 stitches, and then once you get to the middle stitch of the 7 stitch grouping, we are going to create the start of our next leaf right here. So back post double crochet on that stitch. Okay, then front post double crochet on the next 3 stitches. Okay, and then we're going to decrease our next leaf exactly how we did this first leaf. And then create our start of our next leaf at the end of this row here. So I'll show you that real quick. Decrease, back post double crochet 2 together. So this leaf is going to go down to 2 stitches. Okay, then front post double crochet on the next 3 stitches. Sorry, my hook is squeaking. There we go. Okay, and then this middle stitch right here is going to be a back post double crochet just because we're starting our new leaf. Okay, so do that all the way across. When you get to the end of your row, I'm at the end of my swatch here, but when you get to the end of your row, you're going to finish like this, front post double crochet on 3, back post double crochet on that next one, and then these last 3 stitches, we're going to do front post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then a half double crochet in the very last stitch here. And that's how you end that row. So that is that. Now going on to row 17. Let me untangle this real quick. You can pause, catch up, since your piece is bigger. I'm just doing the swatch here. But I tangled my yarn. So I'll be right back. Alright, chain 1, turn your work around. Going on to row 17 now. This is what our work looks like. We're going to stack our single crochet in the first stitch. Okay, then we're going to back post double crochet on these next 2 stitches. Okay, then on this next stitch here, we're going to front post double crochet on the next stitch, and then back post double crochet on the next 3 stitches. And that is the start of our next leaf right there. Okay, so our next leaf is going to sprout off of that, kind of like how we did these ones. Okay, so now these 2 stitches have to turn into 1 stitch. So front post double crochet 2 together, and that turns into the tippy top of our leaf. Okay, now we're going to back post double crochet onto those next 3 stitches, and then front post double crochet on that front post double crochet, that middle one right there. Okay, then back post double crochet on those 3 stitches, and then decrease these 2 stitches down to 1, then repeat. And do that all the way across your row, and then once I finish row 17, I'll show you how to do row 18 next. Alright, finishing row 17, you want to back post double crochet in those 3 stitches, front post on that stitch, back post on those 2 stitches, and then half double crochet in the very last stitch, chain 1, turn your work around, and now row 18 says to stack our single crochet, of course. And then we're going to front post double crochet on these next 2 stitches. Then this row is very similar to row 8, where we are making V stitches now. Okay, so front post on those 2. Now we're going to do a back post V stitch. Remember row 8 where I showed you how to back post double crochet, then chain 1, and then back post double crochet on that same post. Very similar to row 8. Okay, then front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, actually. These 3, this one, and these 3. Okay, so we are finished making our full leaf, and we're starting our new leaves. So 1, 2, 3, here's our middle of our leaf here. We're making this a front post double crochet stitch. Okay, that's the center of our 7 front post double crochet grouping there. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So I'll show you what I did there. Front post double crochet in those 7 stitches, and then this back post stitch right here is going to be our new leaf, so back post double crochet V stitch. So back post double crochet, chain 1, back post double crochet on that same post. Okay, so there's the V stitch on the same stitch. And then front post double crochet on the next 7, then make your next leaf, and then I'll end the row with my swatch, but you can continue working the same pattern all the way across your blanket, and then once I finish row 18 here, I'll come back and show you what to do next. Alright, finishing row 18, we have front post double crochet in those 3, the back post V stitch there, and then these 2 stitches are front post double crochets, and then a half double crochet in the last stitch, chain 1, turn your work, going on to row 19 now. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. Okay, stack your single crochets in the first stitch. Okay, and then back post double crochet on these next 2. Alright, and now you know how to start your leaf. Okay, so this leaf is now the V stitch, so we're just going to repeat what we did for this leaf right here. So front post double crochet, then a regular V stitch in the chain 1 space. Okay, then the V stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then front post double crochet on that last stitch of our leaf, and now we have increased from 2 stitches to 4 stitches. And then we're going to back post double crochet on the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going a little faster because you kind of get the pattern now, but it's just the start and end of each row is different. So I just want to make sure you get it, understand it, and I can show you physically. There we go. Okay, so now we're at the next leaf here, so repeat what we did for this leaf right here, and then back post double crochet in the next 7 stitches, then make your next leaf, increase it from 2 stitches to 4 stitches, and then back post double crochet in the next 7 stitches, and just repeat that all the way across, and when I finish row 19, I will be right back. Alright, so I ended this row. You can see my leaf increase here to 4 stitches, and then there's a back post double crochet on these 2 stitches, and then a half double crochet in my last stitch, chain 1 there, and then turn the work around. Okay, row 20, we are going to stack our single crochet. Okay, front post double crochet on these next 2 stitches. Okay, and then increase these 4 stitches to 6 stitches, just like how I showed you in that in one of these leaves over here. Just back post double crochet on these 2 stitches here, and then make a V stitch in this chain 1 space here. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that chain 1 space, and then back post double crochet on the next 2 stitches. So now we've increased that leaf into 6 stitches. Now front post double crochet on these next 7 stitches, then the next leaf will be increased just like I showed you here, and then just repeat that whole sequence all the way across, and when I finish row 20, I'll come back and show you how to go on to row 21. Alright, so I finished row 20 here with a front post double crochet in those 2 stitches, and then a half double crochet in that last stitch. I've increased my leaves to 6 stitches, so now we're going to increase our leaves to 8 stitches on row 21. I've chained 1, turning my work around. We're going to stack our single crochet, and then we're going to back post double crochet on these next 2 stitches. This is row 21. Again, if you need to follow along with the written instructions, you can do that on YARNutopia.com. Now on this leaf, we want to increase to 8 stitches. So front post double crochet on these next 3 stitches. And then in the chain 1 space, you're going to put a V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet in there. And then front post double crochet on the next 3 stitches. And that's how each leaf on this row is going to be increased. And then in between your leaves, make sure to back post double crochet on these next 7 stitches. Okay, and do that all the way across, and then I'll show you row 22 next. This is row 22. Okay. So going on to row 22, let me finish row 21 here as this leaf is increased to 8 stitches now. Back post double crochet on those 2 stitches and half double crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work, stack your single crochet in the first stitch, and this repeat is becoming mundane, but it's fine. Front post double crochet on these first 2 stitches, and then we're going to increase now to 10 stitches for row 22 here. So back post double crochet on these 4 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And remember, when we were going up to the 10 stitches on the leaf, we did not do a V stitch in that chain 1 space. We just put 2 double crochets in there. Remember that? So we're just going to do that. 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, and then back post double crochet on these next 4 stitches. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now our leaf is at the maximum increase we want it to be. Okay, so now the next row will then be our decrease, which is actually our repeat of the whole pattern, because remember we decreased here, so it's basically back to the beginning. Okay, so now front post double crochet on the next 7 stitches, and then increase your next leaf to 10 stitches, doing the back post double crochets, putting only 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space. And then between your leaves, just make sure to do the 7 front post double crochets. When I finish row 22, I'll show you row 23. Alright, so I just finished row 22, okay, ending with a front post double crochet on those 2 stitches, half double crochet in that stitch, chain 1, turn your work around, and now at this point, I am done showing you the repeat. What you have to do if you want to rewind this to row 3. So you will now do, for row 23, will be row 3, okay, where we're decreasing the 10 stitches on our leaf down to 8 stitches, okay, because that's back to the beginning now. So we're just going to repeat rows 3 to 22, okay, all the way, as many rows as you want. I ended on row, I believe it's 92. So what we did rows 3 to 22, repeat. Again, rows 3 to 22 for rows 23 to 42 is the repeat, rows 3 to 22. So basically just mirror this up here and then stack it, okay? So rows 3 to 22, you just repeat that as many times as you want. So I did, the repeat ends up, I'll write it in the pattern, but it's rows 23 to 42 are this repeat. Then rows 43 to 62 are the repeat. Then, so that's repeat 1, 2, 3, 4 times I did this. Row 63 to 82. And then I did only rows 3 to 12. And I ended my pattern, and you'll see it in my blanket when I show you the last clip. I ended on a repeat of row 12. Okay, so you can repeat this as many times as you want to make it the length of the blanket that you want. But I did rows 3 to 22, 3 to 22, 3 to 22, 3 to 22, and then 3 to 12. Okay, and then I ended it. So that's on my blanket. That's a different swatch. This is just a swatch that I'm showing you here. But then once you finish, you want to end on a row like this. You can end on row 22 as well, like a repeat of row 22, and then your end will be like this, which is great too. You can go as big as you want. So start and end the same like this. So once you finish a row that ends with a half leaf on top, either over here or over here, okay, I ended on a row that's like a repeat of row 12, which is right here. So that's how my blanket ends, as you can see up here. I'm not finished, so I'm going to finish off. This is my whole blanket here, but this is where I still have to finish this leaf and then create another leaf. Actually, I could probably finish it here, depending if you want it to finish in here with the 7 stitches in the beginning, or if you want to finish with a leaf on this side, on the closer to the edge. It really doesn't matter. Just as long as you finish with a half leaf. Okay, so half leaf here or here. So if I ended it right here, I can just end it at this blanket point right here. This is what it looks like. You can zoom out. This is just a draft though. I still have to sew in a bunch of ends. But look at how fabulous this blanket is looking. I mean, oh my goodness. So now, once you finish your repeats, and you can follow along with the written instructions, it'll have all this written out, which repeat you need to do and where you should end and how many rows you should do. It's all in the written instructions. And then once you are at the point where you are ready to do the border, I will show you that right now. Let's go. Alright, when you are at the point where you want to finish your piece, finish the row and pretend you're going on to the next row by chaining 1, and then cut your yarn and pull that all the way through and pull tight. That way, that is secure and you can sew in this end. So now this is my swatch. Your blanket will obviously be a lot bigger than this, but to do the border, I'm going to change color and use this off-white color. And you can start right in this top stitch like you're going to start the next row. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the top stitch. We are no longer doing front and back post stitches. We're just going to hook our new yarn on and chain 2. And now we are going to double crochet all the way around. Now in the 4 corners, we are going to put 3 stitches, okay? 3 double crochets in each corner. So this chain up 2, I'm going to have it count as one of my stitches. So I'm just going to put 2 double crochets in this first stitch here. So you know how to do double crochets. We've been doing them the whole time, except these are not front or back posts. These are just regular double crochets. So now we're just working into the actual stitch at the top of each stitch. Okay, just like this. We're just double crocheting around. Now, if you are concerned about the edges of your blanket being wavy, at the very end of this project, you will be blocking this so that you can stretch it out to be the rectangular shape or square shape, however big you made your blanket. You will make the edges straight by pinning it down to like a towel or a board and then spraying it with water and letting it dry for 24 hours. That is how you block a piece. But there are so many video tutorials on YouTube of how to block your crochet work. So you just pin it down like in a straight line and then spray it with some water, let it dry for 24 hours. Then when you take the pins out, it is a straight edge. So I'm just going to double crochet all the way around this piece. If you are unsure on how to double crochet or stitch along the edge of your work, because there's no actual stitches on this edge here, I'll come back and I'll show you how to crochet along the edge of your work. Alright, so I'm coming up on this edge here. You can see I put 3 double crochets in the corner stitch, and now just working along this edge, really wherever your hook fits is where you should put your stitches, okay? So it's really no rhyme or reason. There's no actual like stitch count or anything, but just what looks good. Just kind of insert your hook around these stitches. And I've been like putting like 2 stitches in each row. That's kind of like my baseline. And I'm kind of putting it into the actual like stitch base and not so much like around the post of the stitch, just because there can show gapping and it's kind of difficult, but it looks better when you go into the actual stitch base and not around the post. Okay, just for the aesthetic look of it. Looks a lot cleaner. That looks really nice. That's gonna be so beautiful. So just do that all the way, and then when you get to the next corner, just put 3 double crochets in that corner, work along the bottom edge, and then up this edge here. And once you have that round done, I'll show you how to do the next round. Alright, I just came back around here, so now when you go to the beginning here, you can see our stitch right here. We're going to slip stitch into the very first double crochet stitch. Just yarn over, pull through, and through that loop on your hook, pull tight, and that slip stitches there and closes that round. Now you could end here and just have this nice thin border, or you can go on to more rows, and just to do that, every row after this, all you have to do is just slip stitch to the beginning first stitch, chain 2, and then start double crocheting in each stitch around. And that is how we do the border. I am going to do 2 rounds of this border. In the corners of our piece, we're just going to put 3 double crochets in the corners of our piece. That's the middle double crochet of the corner 3 double crochet groupings. But other than that, just put 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and you can do, I'm going to do 2 rounds, but you can do 3 or 4 or 5 rounds, however big you want to make your border. It'll be nice and flowy, nice and ruffly once you get a little bigger. And if you want to see here my piece, now don't worry about the edges being like really like wavy right now. Like I said earlier, I'm going to pin this down to a board and stretch it out like this. You can zoom out. There you go. I'm going to stretch it out, pin it down, make my edges straight. You see how that's like going like that? So I'll stretch this and make it straight and pin it down, spray it with a bunch of water, let it dry overnight, and then once I take the pins out, it'll be straight edges all the way around, and it'll look so fabulous. So I'm just going to do another round of this, and then I will be fastening off, and just like how I showed you in the beginning of this round here, we're just going to slip stitch to the first stitch and then chain 1 and then cut our yarn. And that is how you fasten off, and I'll show you that next. Alright, when you're done, you're going to slip stitch to the very first double crochet, like I said, and chain 1, cut your yarn, and pull it all the way through and pull tight, and then we can sew in that end. I'll grab my yarn needle. So I usually just sew in my ends like this, where I yarn my needle with that strand, go in the back of my work, and just go underneath the stitches into them. And then just go back and forth a few times, just that it'll be hidden and secure. And then you can cut off any extra that you may have. But that's it. That's the Aspen Baby Blanket, Aspen Leaf Baby Blanket. It has the nice leaf design. Trim any extra yarn. And then you can block this, like I said. So the edges on this are quite ruffly, but that's going to be so cute on the baby blanket. This is just a swatch, but the bigger baby blanket is so fabulous. I love it so much. And then this ruffly edge is just going to look so cool with it. Like this. How fun! Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this stitch with me. This was so wonderful. And a huge thank you to Lion Brand Yarn for sponsoring the yarn for this project using Basic Stitch Anti-Pilling yarn. And check out Lion Brand Yarn's website, lionbrand.com, as well as the Etsy shop, Would Be Fancy. Links are all in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my dad behind my shoulder here who's filming this tutorial. Let me tell you, I tried filming this tutorial myself and failed miserably, and so it is way easier and way much better to have my dad behind my shoulder filming and getting zoomed in right in the stitches. It's so wonderful. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching, everyone, and for being patient with me on getting these tutorials out. This was a lot of fun to make with you today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, happy hooking!